I'm with Margate manager Ben Greenhalgh after his side's 1-1 draw on the opening day against Jersey Bulls. Ben, a point gained or 2 dropped?
I think when you're at home it's 2 drops. Just frustratingly how slow the first half was from us, and that's something we sort of said at the end of the game. If we're going to perform in that manner, then at least you don't let in a goal and you win the game 1-0. It was just all a bit lethargic, all a bit like not much happening, and that was something that we didn't set the intensity. Obviously they sat off us and gave us a lot of time on the ball, but probably didn't create enough that we should have done in the first half. We obviously had the one where myself sort of hit the post and we all thought it was in. But other than that, there probably wasn't anything clear cut, maybe a couple of half deliveries and things, but nothing major, and that's something that we've obviously got to get better at. We knew coming out in the second half how good we are in terms of the second half, so there's always something, and we've got to look at that. Why were we slow in the first half? Maybe too much in pre-season, we don't know. So we've really got to sort of look back on that and watch the game back and see, make a decision ourselves a little bit and see what was wrong. I did feel like the energy wasn't there. And sometimes when you look at that, obviously Brandon wasn't 100% right today, and Brandon was Player of the Year last year in my opinion. He come in the second half, we had a bit more intensity, which I'm not saying is what changed the game or got us that, but we felt like we were going to be the only team to go and score. And looking back on it, it's exactly the same as last year. It's exactly the same as East Green did at home last year, where we're frustrated. We had a lot of opportunities, goal line clearances, goal line scrambles, and it just didn't fall our way. And I've demanded between everyone in there a little bit more quality. For us as a team, we should be scoring more goals, we should be creating better chances than probably what we did. But it's one of them, you don't lose your first game of the season. We do feel like we've dropped 2 points, but Jersey, you can clearly see they're an organised team, and they're not going to give away chances easily, and they didn't do that. So they came with their game plan, and I think they'll take their 1 point, and obviously I think they'll catch a lot of teams out as well this season.
You spoke in pre-season about how this league will be much more competitive this year with the new teams coming in, and Jersey were certainly that. Is maybe one of your concerns right now that we've having kept a large majority of the squad from last season, that today's draw might just trigger memories of last season when it was such a difficult start?
Possibly, but I think at the same time we can spin it the other way and go, we did draw our first 3 games at home, we only had 3 points in 3 games, and we still got 87 points at the end of the season, which was a really good tally. So we also know everyone's in there saying, look, 41 games to go, boys. The chances are we won't look back at this game and think, what have we lost out on? We know to our levels probably still wasn't good enough today. And like we said, the intensity, the quality wasn't quite the same that it normally is in the first half. So we have to look back on that. And I think, look, we talk about obviously where Brandon wasn't 100% right to play. We missed out on our top goal scorer last year. And you can't hide away from that. No matter who you bring in, what formation you go with, we're always going to miss out on Ibs. And obviously we knew his baby was coming, and it's brilliant for him, and that's more important at this moment in time for him and his family. But when we look at us out on the football pitch, if Ibs had played today, I'm not putting all the pressure on him, but he's someone that probably would have put some of them chances away. We needed someone who's got that knack for just being in the right area at the right time, and I thought Derry worked hard today and won a lot of headers, but I think he needed someone to be in that box and scoring those goals. So you look at that, we've been able to play Brandon Ibs with probably that bit of a stronger team.
You mentioned chances. There were a lot more in the second half for us than there were the first, so that's a positive that we're creating them. How much will you look at that and say, actually boys, we take that last 45 minutes, the chances we created, with Ibs back in the side, we're a lot more potent maybe?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think, like we said, we don't want to dwell on it too much. It is a case we wanted to get 3 points. I think the conversation was, we want to be top of the league by 3 o'clock because we were the first game. There was obviously all those cliche moments where we wanted to get right, but at the same time, like we said, you've got Jersey coming to the division, you've got Faversham, Whiteleaf, obviously Hassocks as well. But when you look at, especially, I don't know enough about Hassocks, didn't know loads about Jersey, but I did know technically they won their league last year without obviously dropping the points that they had to drop in the last couple of weeks. So they're teams that are used to winning, they're used to having their own way, and similar to us. Like we're not going to go and easily be beaten. We've proved that. Like we were the team to go and win the game, and we were always kicking on. So there's moments of frustration, obviously, because like we said, we always wanted the 3 points, but gives us a bit more drive to have a really difficult start to the season. Which, let's be honest, no games are going to come easy. Depending on how the games fall, we're going to go Ashford away at some point. We've obviously got Sittingbourne away on Tuesday night, possibly Mersham away in 3 weeks, depending on how the fixtures fall again with the FA Cup. So it's a really tough start for us, and it's going to be demanding. And hopefully we can get everyone a bit fresher than probably what we were today. It's slightly frustrating to come out of pre-season and have 4 or 5 people at sort of 70% rather than 100%. So I think if we can get all that right, and I think we're a team that will rise to the occasion in these bigger games, and then hopefully kick on from there.
1 down, 41 to go in the league. The next one though, Sittingbourne away. They're last year's playoff finalists. They were beaten, of course. What will you expect from them on Tuesday, and what will you expect more from your team?
I think there's a lot of people thinking out there that maybe they won't be as strong because they've changed their team and they've lost a lot of players. But knowing Ryan Maxwell's teams, there'll probably be no difference. They will work hard. They will have so much intensity, and they'll want to fight. They want to win games of football. So we know what we're going to come against on Tuesday. We had it last year where we went away and we didn't have the personnel or the team to take their game plan to them. I think we played a good game against them here, and we looked like we were going to be the team to draw, if not win the game, and then let in 2 late goals. So they're a team that took 6 points off us last year. So that's something that we know, looking at if we want to go a little bit better, then they're the games where we've got to try and get points out of and just demand more. And I think from us is on Tuesday we want more intensity. That's the main thing, is that little bit more fight that we showed clearly in the second half, and it shows that everybody cares because they want to get the right result for the football club, but we've got to do that from minute 1.
That's brilliant. Thanks for your time. Well
Cheers,
done this
Ryan.
afternoon.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
then.